I'm 25 years into my career, and we're talking about doing a new show. It's amazing.
I'm Tony Danza, and I'm live from New York City. Rolling!
There's on-air promotion, there's press and publicity, there's national promotions. It just goes on and on and on.
Oh, look at this. It's exciting and scary. And, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think we're ready.
Tony Danza, now on Biography.
Well, I'm going to be here. This is my neighborhood now. All right. Okay, I'll see you later. Later, Karen. Okay, all right, folks, have a good stay. One of the real joys of my career is that I've been around a long time. I mean, the fact that I'm 25 years into my career and we're talking about doing a new show, it's kind of wild. Nice to see you. I'm Tony Danza. Nice to see you. I'll be seeing you. I always feel like Mary Tyler Moore. Yeah. It's very bizarre. Don't get up. Wow. This is an operation, man. Holy mackerel. Morning, David. How are you?
Oh, God, love it. Thank you. I was waiting for the hug.
You got it. Good to see you. There's an awful lot of you.
Buena Vista Television pursued Tony 4 years ago to do a talk show, and the timing wasn't right then. And then 2 years ago, they reapproached him, and it worked out.
Audience coordinator.
Okay, I didn't even know I had an audience coordinator. But
Human interest producer.
Booker.
Okay, hi,
Nice to meet you.
Francesca.
Francesca, I promise that one was easy.
Going on the field shoots with you.
All right, here we go.
Welcome.
You was like, follow me, men.
You love it?
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
I'm going crazy.
Daytime talk's a very, very competitive field, as evidenced by the number of shows that don't make it past their first season. It takes a very special combination to succeed and appeal to daytime viewers.
We follow Regis, we're before The View, and so there's a lot of kind of jockeying for position. On a particular show, we'll have a couple of celebrities. Tony has a lot of Hollywood friends. They're willing to come on the show, and not just to do him a favor, but because they like him.
Here they are, staff at work.
Yeah, we're already stressed. We've only been here 2 hours and we're already stressed.
It's really exciting and scary, and it's both. It's a lot of things. This is Dimitri Pappas. Okay. Secce Pappas. I make everything Italian. I can't resist. I'm really sort of touched and humbled by the commitment from the staff that they put together. How could you ever name Joseph Vallone and not be Giuseppe Vallone?
Vallone, yeah. That's what my grandpa used to call me.
So there must be some Italian. Yeah. Seeing these people who are so excited and so seemingly take a bullet for me. So I feel pretty good about it. Oh, Greek fight. This would be great. Now I'm in business.
It's a major, major undertaking to launch a show like this. There's on-air promotion, there's press and publicity, there's national promotions, photo sessions. It just goes on and on and on.
Today we were shooting everything that Tony will use for advertising and some publicity for his new television program.
The first time I worked with Andrew, we worked in New York, and a long day in the morning, and then had to come in and do a photo shoot, which is not my favorite thing anyway. Got that?
Good, right there. So we wanted to get a really wide variety of photography that they'd be able to use throughout the entire year. That's great. That's so charming. He looks like a nice guy, acts like a nice guy, is a nice guy. You know, the camera doesn't lie. How long have you played?
About 2 years. So I was really excited. And then he made the day comfortable, considering that, like I said, it was a long way to Tipperary that day.
Excellent. It was like spending a day hanging out with a friend. Excellent. Keep the hope, Tony. Keep the hope.
We keep the hope alive.
Excellent. Here we go. We're almost done.
You know, he makes it almost not painful.
Good.
So that's pretty good, I think. It's my Vic Damone pose. I have a feeling some of these pictures will be on buses going down, 6th Avenue in New York. And it's so great to have a guy that's going to make you look as good as possible. Tony Danza, how are you? I'm promoting a new TV show. The show's called The Tony Danza Show. Stand back, Reed, I'll take over. You know what I mean? This is how I'm promoting my show. I'm going door to door, person to person, one by one. You know, we've been going all over the country doing these spots.
Right.
We've been in Houston. San Francisco, Chicago, New York. It's gonna be a long day. Yeah. And I enjoy it. And when I don't enjoy it, I make it look like I enjoy it. So I'm very realistic about it. Yo, Houston, look where I am. Hi, I'm in Philly because my new show starts on September 13th, right here on ABC, on 6 ABC.
Watch the Tony Danza show.
September 13th. Boom. I've toyed with this idea a long time. I like to talk, and I think it offers you a chance to show other sides of yourself, whether it be your interests, your talents, whatever.
And there it is. Right.
You know what? I'm taking this one with me. I just wanted to roll. Sì. Mi piace di parlare.
To make it in daytime, you have to just connect with your audience at such an intimate, personal level.
Say bye.
Bye.
Okay.
They really need to be let into your life, and Tony is willing to do that, and he's has such a long history with people. He just makes people comfortable automatically.
How's it going, guys?
I'm gonna get in trouble.
I'm really confident in his abilities because I've seen it firsthand. I've traveled the country with him. I've seen how people react when they walk down the street.
Yes, sir. Good.
Cheese fry and a birch beer.
Cheese fry and a birch beer. Birch beer.
Tony Danza.
Got it. It's an exciting time, and it's really interesting to think about it and then put it together, and then you see it start to percolate, and it's percolating now. Get ready, because I'm coming back. All right. I'm from the East New York section of Brooklyn, the same neighborhood that gave you John Gotti and Mike Tyson. My father was a garbage man here in the city, and my mother a bookkeeper. Yeah, well, my father, he was a war hero, got a Bronze Star in World War II. He used to work on the street that I lived on and went to school on. And I was always so proud of him because he used to drop me off at school with the truck. Yeah. And, you know, he used to tell me like things like this. He'd say, you know, I work in this neighborhood, so somebody's going to tell me if you do anything wrong, you know. And he'd say, the greatest compliment you can get is that you got a good kid. And my mother, you know, a friend of mine once said that every kid should have somebody who's irrationally committed to their future. Irrational. That's what my mother was. She was the one who told me you could be somebody, you could go to college, you know, you could do something with yourself. She just wanted you to aspire to better things. So between the two of them, it was great. I was a bit of a street fighter when I was a youngster. Street fighting was like a game. It was like one of the best games, you know, because, you know, people didn't fight with guns, they fought with their hands. A bunch of my friends, as a joke, entered me in the Golden Gloves. Because in New York, all you do is you fill out the entry blank. So I did it, and I knocked out the first 6 guys I fought. Unfortunately, I did end up against somebody who really knew how to fight, and he knocked me out. But I was hooked. I know it sounds crazy to get beat up and get hooked, but I was hooked. I went back to the boxing commission for $5. I turned pro, and I had 50 fights. I won 12. It was great. My set, that's wild. My set, you know. Oh, look at this.
Don't get up.
He's the director. What do you want from me? I didn't do it.
Tony Danza, New York. Tony, meatballs, Yankees, boxing, Tony Danza. I said, that is a perfect match.
2, go. And
Now here's Tony.
It's interesting, you have to think about what it looks like on camera as opposed to what it looks like when you're there. Because a lot of things look different in the camera.
now, I don't know, that might be a little clumsy walking in front.
Well, the set, I just want it to be comfortable. I want people to feel that, you know, they're sort of in your living room. So, the next picture. But it's beautiful. I think they did a great job. I mean, the fact that we have a door out onto the street, you know, that's the best feature of my set is that you just walk out. It's great. I'll walk in.
Have a little monitor out. Hi, today on the Tony Danza show, and then I cut inside to, ladies and gentlemen, here's Tony Danza, and then you make it a thing.
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. I like that. You know, I have this whole thing about the sanitation department in New York because my father was a member. I worked for them, and I was thinking maybe for the first show I'd pull up to that door in a garbage truck and jump off the back and tell my father, hey, I did it, you know.
The fact that one day you go, you know what, I want to come in from the street today.
Exactly.
That would be great.
With an umbrella and it's raining or something.
Yeah, how about that? It's pretty very snowstorm. Amazing. Come on, this is great.
Just on a purely, you know, personal note, I love having an audience, so the thought of having one every day seems kind of cool.
I'm going to have to try to learn not to put my hands here, I think. Is that my problem? Yeah, you know? Hey, how are you?
He wanted to be really close to the people. That was a big thing with him. He wants to even be able to get up from the chair and run right to somebody in the first row, or if he's cooking, ask how the meatballs taste, you know, do you like my gravy, all that kind of stuff. And take 5.
It's incredible.
What? Take 2?
Book. You made a book. A binder, I mean. It's a binder.
I mean, most times when these shows work, they gain a lot of influence. And that influence, I mean, you know, Oprah's got people reading Tolstoy, and when Rosie said she liked Broadway, boom, Broadway, you know. So, and I just think that you could be a force for good.
This is going to be fun.
It's gonna be great.
That is going to be a good time. Well, what else you guys want to do? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm fine, you know.
I tell you, it sounds like lunch to me. I don't know what it is.
It does, right?
We're working on theme songs. We're working on who's going to be also in the show, you know, because I'm looking for a piano player.
Have him start where you are. Yeah. If he feels, you know, whatever he feels like.
Now, there's a couple of ladies who are just terrific. We just have to decide which one. Then there's some other talk about having somebody else to talk to.
Eric is Mike.
Go regularly to action movies, is that what you did?
Take one. Too tight.
And your wife, she
Ready,
goes
4, take 4.
No, my wife's not a big action movie fan.
Ready, 1, take 1.
But she
Tony could carry the show himself, but I think that having a female presence there to bounce conversation off of just makes for a more interesting hour.
maybe not.
Yeah.
Ready, 3, take 3.
There's a lot of pressure to come through for the people involved, and the success rate is, everybody knows about it. And it's particularly bad for men. But sometimes you got to do things that are scary.
See, that's a movie star.
Ready, 1, take 1.
September 13th, 55 days and counting. It's almost 54 and a half now. How I got into taxi was I was training in Gleason's gym. And one day a guy walked in named Stuart Sheslow, a producer type. And he said, hey, listen, I'm doing this pilot. It's called Augie. It's a combination of Chico and the Man and Rocky. And he said, was I fighting anytime soon? So I said, I happen to be fighting this night. And so we get up there, and the bell rings, and throws a left hook, and he hits me right on the button. Down I go. 30 seconds into the fight, I'm down. Jump up, you know, I'm mad. I was all, you dirty. And I get hit again, the same punch. Down again. And I was really hurt. I really was. I looked up, and the other fighter, he was like breathing fire, saying, come on, get up. And I'm thinking, should I? I don't know. So I come back up, and I take a terrible beating. And I mean a beating. The guy's been just pounding me. With 15 seconds left in the same round, we throw right hands, and mine gets there first. And I knock him out. I win the fight. Cheslow's hanging over the lead going, that's the greatest audition I've ever seen. So I get the part. I know the moment my life changed is the moment I got off that canvas that night. I'm so naive, by the way. I find out the part was originally written for an Irish heavyweight named Phil Ryan. Then they made it an Italian middleweight named Phil Banta. And then when we started rehearsing, they actually came to me and said, hey, look, we're going to change the name of the character to Tony Banta. And I thought, wow, they're doing that for me. Well, actually, it was a reflection on my acting ability. They were afraid I wouldn't answer to Phil, you know. Taxi was like being in a school, like an acting school. You know, really terrific people you were around. You know, I love Danny. He was my mentor. He took me under his wing. He was really good to me. You know, to be part of something like that, it was amazing because we were kids, we were all young, you know, and we had the best show on TV. I was born in Brooklyn. There you go. Okay, I can do that.
Today we're shooting on-air promos for the new Tony Danza show.
Tony's pretty amazing. Everybody comes up and talks to him. Tony talks back, and that's basically what that's all about. You'll see him walking down. He'll say hi. If somebody says hi, he'll say hi back.
Hey, Tony! Hey, what do you say, guys? How's it going?
All this stuff is propped out. This is not a real box. These are not real customers, but the streets of New York are real, and Tony loves it that way. Now, we've got traffic in New York that won't stop. We can't control it. New Yorkers won't be controlled. We've got people here walking through. That's going to happen. We've wired Tony, so actually he's going to be talking through his wired mic, so it won't be quite as noisy as you hear here. But we will be booming it to pick up the sounds, because really that's New York, and that's what this show's all about.
Hey, Tony! What do you say, guys?
Great.
All right. Okay.
One more up?
Yeah, let's do
one more.
New York. Grew up in Brooklyn. Lived on Long Island.
Tony!
Hi, ladies. And now I'm back getting ready for my new talk show.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, how's the baby?
Great.
Good. It's a daily hour of stars you know, regular people you want to meet. And we'll share some stories. We'll have some laughs. I might even cook. And best of all, it's live from right here in New York City.
Welcome back, Tony.
Oh, thank you, dear. It's good to be home.
When Buena Vista comes to us and says we need to launch the Tony Danza show, obviously we have someone who has brand recognition, so we're not starting from scratch. We're going to show you how we started the whole process of the Tony Danza main title. By the way, this is Monica. Monica, say hey.
Hi.
We pitched a month ago, which would be the beginning of July, to the executives in charge of the production and showed them 9 different things. This first look uses these vertical bands going back and forth and very hot today colors. Very dapper Tony. A little too frenetic for the client's taste. Here's Tony on the streets of New York. Now, the idea on this was to give you a panoramic view from Tony as he comes up out of the subway, and as he looks out, it's all of America, showing that Tony is the heartbeat. One of the lines that's come to fruition is a familiar face in a brand new place. Familiar face, obviously Tony, brand new place, daytime. A lot of energy, a lot of fun, a nice daytime palette, but again, for daytime was considered a little too frenetic and probably better suited for nighttime. So we'll pitch it for another show, right?
You betcha.
Next one. This is cool. Stylized skyscrapers with text that underscores what Tony's all about. Would also be used to highlight who the guests are. So it's not fully realized. I love that Statue of Liberty gag. Different looks, really hot, blown out. He's a guy's guy, and that's part of his appeal. Women can relate to him. And you know what? If there's a guy in the house, they'll probably go, hey, it's Tone. This is where we're at right now. Early August, the test shows. Tony's voice is going to be under all of this, underscoring live from New York.
And then the announcer will come on and say, here's Tony.
We're here in our motion graphics department, also known as Magic Land. And this is Sergio, who leader of all the fine minions at his disposal. Sergio, among other things for the Tony Danza launch, has created this wonderful super sign. What is the super sign, you ask? ABC New York, 7 stories tall, outside the ABC studios. Giant, crawling graphics. This project is very complex. It incorporates a number of different elements. There's still photography. There's a live-action green screen shoot with Tony. There's a shoot that was done with Andrew Eccles. There's B-roll of other elements that were shot in New York by Buena Vista. 7 stories high. It's amazing. Wait till you see it. I can't wait.
P.T. Barnum. I really am. I mean, it's the worst. You ask my publicist. I told her, don't tell me about things, because I can't say no. You tell me, I go. You know, somebody said, what's different about the show? I said, me, you know?
Yeah.
The competition is fierce. The market is so fragmented. There's a lot of choices out there, so you have to sort of rise above the din. You have to let them know that you're out there. If you personally appear, show up at stations and radio stations and TV stations, and you make the effort, so I think people, you know, they sort of root for you a little bit. You know, there's no guarantees, but if sheer will and hard work could guarantee this, then we're a lock.
Hey guys, is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
after my life was changed, and when people started asking me for my autograph, you know. My father says, why don't you come visit me in Brooklyn? I said, Dad, come on. You know, it's hard for me now. I got to come back to the old neighborhood, you know. People ask me for my autograph, and it's rough on me. He goes, give me a break, cut the baloney, come to Brooklyn. So, okay. So that next week I came. I came at night because I didn't want anybody to see me. Of course, I did take the biggest limo I could find. Anyway, the next morning, my friend Joey Mook comes over. So Mook says, you know what we should do? We should paint your father's apartment. I said, that's a great idea, Joe. I said, but where are we going to get the paint? He said, well, walk right down the street. I said, Joe, come on. Are you kidding? It's hard for me now. People want my autograph. He goes, please, cut the baloney. Let's go get the paint. So we go. Everybody's out. There's a million kids out. You know, there's kids riding bikes, playing handball. It's bedlam on Fulton Street. Nobody notices me. No, wait a minute. I'm talking about nobody. One guy comes up to the side of Joey and misses me. Nothing. I'm going nuts. So we get to the store. And we get our paint, we get online. We're right behind two 12-year-old, 13-year-old kids. Now, this is my audience. They gotta know who I am. What, are you kidding? I look at the kid. He looks at me. Nothing. Not even nothing. So I finally can't take it anymore. I just can't. And I find myself saying something I never thought I'd say. I say to the kid, hey, don't you know who I am? The kid says, yeah, I know who you are, but your father told us not to bother you. Only in New York could that happen, you know. When I got off taxi, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't get a job. And then I got a call. That was my agent. She said, they have a few ideas for you. In one, you play a tough New York detective. In another, you play a daring helicopter pilot. And in another, you're a housekeeper for a woman and her mother. Which one'd you take? I take the one where I'm a housekeeper, you know. So, and that was one of the great 8 years of anybody's life. Because you get there on Monday and you laugh until Friday and then you go home. I mean, basically was what we did. I mean, I'm really proud of that show because you can watch that show with a 6-year-old and not get embarrassed. It had a lot of nice things to say. It wasn't preachy. There was something to it, and I think, you know, that's what's nice about TV.
I think as we've gotten closer to production, the staff has grown from maybe 30 people to about 100 people, including the crew, and it takes that many people to do a live show every day. It's unbelievable the amount of work that's involved. His involvement is making a huge difference because he picks up the phone. He does pre-interviews. He gets on the phone and says hello to the guests and say, hey, what do you want to talk about? He's so active, and I think it makes a huge difference in, you know, launching a successful show.
Actually, this time I'm trying a big-time agent at ICM that I know. Sean Penn and Naomi Watts. Now, that sounds really good. Okay. Well, listen, would you do me a favor and tell her I called and I got the picture today. I really appreciate it, and I'm dying to talk to her. I got a lot of friends, and I've done a lot of favors, but it's very difficult. You run the risk of I'm hearing no. People want to see the show before they commit. Okay, appreciate it. We just sent a bunch of tapes over to John Travolta, so you can see, well, you know, am I gonna be sorry I said I'd do it? But it's important that you reach out. Hi, is she in? This Tony Danza calling. Especially when the show is just starting out, you really do need to put yourself on the line. That's not who I was hoping for. All right. Well, you see what I'm up against.
Tony Danza is one heck of a booker. Tony has been really working his off by calling in a lot of old friends.
These first 2 weeks, Tony, looked just unbelievable. You know, Alyssa's coming off.
Yes, you know, she called me.
We're trying to get DVDs to give to the audience.
Oh, you mean Who's the Boss DVDs?
DVDs. That's probably her right there.
I got Copperfield.
Dennis Franz.
The Duchess of York.
Jeff Probst from Survivor. You got your friend Carol Kane coming. Catherine Hellman.
He's my soulmate. And you know, here, this man here. Nobody knows this kid yet. I'll tell you, he's got a new song on this album. It's called He's Watching. And he sings about that his father is watching, you know, and it's like this story of, you know, we all want our fathers to see how we turned out. That's what it's about. It's special. All right. Keep up the good work, Tommy, my boy.
Great day.
I love you.
Great day. I love you too, man.
All right, man.
The test shows are for us only. Test shows are for me, for Tony mainly, for the crew, for everybody, and we just take notes and we look at it.
Okay, here we go. In 10, 9, 8, 7.
It takes a lot of practice. People don't understand that, you know, to do a live show, there are 100 people behind the cameras.
Oh, there we go. I'm Tony Danza, and I'm live from New York City.
Roll it, go to it. And we'll produce it like it's live. The key to the test shows is you can stop tape. When it's live, it won't be that way.
I tell you something, it's so, I really do have a talk show now. Paris Hilton's here, it was great.
And finding a unique way to interview a guest who's probably done TV 20 different times. And ultimately, the goal of this show is to make sure that when they come over here, our audience is going to see a different interview.
How are you?
Good. I brought you a tiara.
Oh, you brought me a tiara?
Yeah.
Well, I think,
Every heiress needs a tiara.
It is the ultimate multitask. It really is. I mean, there's 14 things going on at one time. You know, you get out, the commercials coming, we're a minute long already. Don't miss a laugh. There's just so much going on.
Truly one of the great actors around, Mr. Peter Boyle.
And shot it like a real show so that everybody, from the cameraman to the warm-up guy to the audience people, knew exactly what we were doing.
And by the way, before I go on, I just forgot to do something. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for being here, audience. I appreciate it. I got to get all this stuff down.
They moved things around. They tried different segments, different people, me sitting in different places.
Erica Vitrini is such a great find for us. She has such good chemistry with Tony and just brings a lot of fun to the show.
She was fired by Trump. She was hired by Danza. I like it.
And some of the stuff from the test shows we will air down the road. You know, not all of it will be for practice.
This is a little-known fact. Are you ready for this? Peter and his wife, when they got married, his best man was?
John Lennon.
John Lennon, everybody. Give me that?
Yeah.
But it has helped us immensely because Tony feels so amazingly comfortable in front of the camera, but it's taken these 12 shows for everything behind the camera to get perfect. So the first day, the first live day, it's going to be like we've been doing this for a year.
All right, I promise I'm not going to talk as much, and we'll hear more from Peter Boyle, and we'll be right back. This may be the greatest job I've ever had. It's certainly the greatest challenge I've ever had. And I think that's what life's about, the challenges that you accept and hopefully the ones you overcome. You know, I haven't had this huge movie career or this huge anything, but I've had some really special moments. I know we did 114 episodes of Taxi, did 199 episodes of Who's the Boss, and then I did a year of another series called Hudson Street that I was very proud of. I've done a lot of TV movies and a lot of TV specials, and I got lucky. Gary Marshall had written a play called Wrong Turn at Longfish, and he said, would I like to work with George C. Scott? And I said, you betcha. And I got to work with him again because I did a remake of 12 Angry Men with George, Hume Cronin, Jack Lemmon, Courtney Vance, Ossie Davis, James Gandolfini sat next to me. I was on Broadway a couple of times. I did Arthur Miller's A View from the Bridge. I actually got to do it for Arthur Miller. The Iceman Comets with Kevin Spacey. So I've sort of been, you know, doing things that people wouldn't expect. I'm married 17 years, gonna be 18 years, to a wonderful woman. See, and I found the secret. It's real easy. Find the right girl. She's terrific. Her name's Tracy. I tried to go out with her for 5 years, and she wouldn't go out with me. She drove me crazy. She finally decides to go out with me, and I took her to Carmine's on Little Santa Monica where Dean Martin hung out and all these guys I knew. And anyway, I go in, and the drinks landed, and I go to her, why don't we just get married? And she looked at me, and she went, why don't we have an appetizer first? Which I really fell in love with her then, you know. I got 2 girls. I have a 16-year-old. My whole life revolves around whether her car's home or not. You know, if I come home, her car's there, I feel good. And then the little one, I have a 10-year-old, be 11 this month. For Halloween, she was a businesswoman. So, you know, this is quite a kid. And I have an older son who will be 33 soon. Amazing that a 35-year-old can have a 33-year-old, isn't it? So I'm immersed in trying to raise them and trying to be, you know, a good father.
The Tony Danza Show.
There's a lot of tension, of course, because of the startup time that we're doing, and this is a brand new show. And all around town, I see trucks, a big 18-wheeler have a Tony Danza sign, and out in front there's the Tony Danza, and on a bus there's the Tony Danza Show. So it's everywhere.
Tony was here at 7 in the morning. He's done press daily.
It's exciting to be back in New York. You know, it's live. This is where I come from. I wanted to come home and do it here. And you know, I go down the street, people are going, "Good luck, Tony. Have a great day."
Nice.
You know, all that stuff. I feel like Mary Tyler Moore a little bit.
You know, he hasn't had a spare moment to himself. It's not the kind of job where you just show up to work and you tape for an hour and you leave. It's, you know, 12 hours a day to put together 1 hour.
Thank you very much. September 10th.
Way too hot.
2004. Can you believe this year how fast it's. And you know, Ray has 2 twins, Matt and Greg, and my daughter Emily. They're in the same class. And there's something.
Matthew. He's got a crush on Emily Danza. That'll be a big Italian wedding. That'll be.
This is the 12th test show we had. And today was the best one.
Okay, you guys, tomorrow is the show live at 10 o'clock. We've been getting ready for 60 days now, so let's go over what we're gonna do, all right? Act 1, cold open, getting off the back of a garbage truck. I think new talk shows are like new movies where you have to score big your opening weekend or you're done. All right, so we're gonna have a live shot of Regis walking in Act 1, right? So it's so important that we, you know, knock it out of the ballpark. All right, I think we're gonna have a great show, so thank you.
Look who's here. My new boss.
What's happening? I'm sweating. I was just dancing with Liza Minnelli.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah, she's doing a show Monday. You know.
I know that, but
so we're doing a number.
That's cool. What about James Gandolfini? He scares me.
Why does James Gandolfini scare you?
He's so tough.
They came to do a little spot for us.
That's cool.
How about that, huh? Nobody gets Jimmy Gandolfini.
He came in here, I heard him, he was like, what is this, NASA?
Yeah, he says to me, "It's all for you."
I'm the announcer and correspondent, whatever you want to call me. And voice, I didn't know how to use it properly, especially in that way. Because I always go up in volume.
Well, Sam will show you, and this guy's very good.
Okay.
I worked with him for a long time on my accent, as you can see, it worked well.
You're good.
Okay. Erica, are you excited for Monday? Yeah? You're nervous?
Yeah, a little bit.
No, you're gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
I'll let you go to work.
Okay.
Okay, give it another shot. Introduce somebody else. I'm going to talk
And
talk
here's
talk
your host,
talk
Tony Danza.
That's great. Happy look on your face because your voice is going to follow your facial expression. If you look happy, you'll sound happy. If you look concerned, you'll sound concerned. But this is up, 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 and make those names sound incredibly important.
And a special appearance by Tony Soprano himself, James Gandolfini.
It's almost poetry.
Later, start spreading the news. Liza Minnelli is live in our studio.
Of course, everybody's a little nervous and antsy, but doing it live, we can't wait. I can't wait to do it live.
You and me both. Less than 3 days till the show premieres. You know, the countdown has been going on, and now we're at 3. The great Erica Vitrini. The work continues right through the weekend, and it's all leading to that moment when we'll be live on TV in homes all around the country. And, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think we're ready. You know what I mean? You got to thank the audience, and I need it in there somehow. Yeah, I'd like to thank our studio audience. You've been wonderful, and you at home for watching, and I hope you come back tomorrow. Okay? I never thought about being a sitcom actor or even an actor. I always thought about being an entertainer. I've been tap dancing now for about 20 years. At the end of Taxi, I got myself a teacher, had him come to the studio, and we started taking tap classes instead of lunch. And I got hooked, and I stayed with it. For a white guy, I'm not bad. With a break. What I would try to do is some stand-up and some tap dancing. That's when we lost 2 stagehands, the warm-up guy and Danny DeVito. Then I decided I should do some music, and so I tried to put an act together. And I've been doing it now for, it'll be 9 years. You know, but the more fun I have up there, the more fun they have. Ah, I was so close. I miss a note. It's okay. I'm having a good time.
I should quit while I'm ahead. I'm telling you.
I guess I've been on TV a long time. And a lot of people have grown up with me. It's funny. Like, I'll have 22-year-old kids come up to me and say, You know, I wanted you to be my father when I was a kid. Or I have older women say, I wanted you to be my son. And in between, I get the other thing, too. So, I sort of run the gamut. But I think because of where I come from, I'm from the neighborhood. I'm a guy. And I see myself that way. Somebody said once that I was everybody's wiseacre buddy. I kind of like that.
We got here around 6 a.m. and we're just here to see Tony.
We left Long Island at 5:30 this morning, my daughter and I and my sister-in-law. And we got here at about 7 o'clock. They said to be here early.
He has got everyday people appeal.
All right, let's go. There's a lot of people involved. And I feel that responsibility, that pressure to come through for them.
I think everyone feels a little, stressed or they know the importance of we have to deliver. If we were on tape, we could edit, we could make the interviews go on forever, we could, re-edit and repackage. But when you're live, that's what the show is. It's Tony, it's the guest, it's what we've produced, and that's it. So the preparation is enormous, and the preparation is so important.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friend, my dance partner, Miss Liza Minnelli.
Yeah, Tony called Liza himself, and Liza answered the phone. And so he asked her, and she said, of course, Tony, for you, I would do it. Pretty amazing booking, because she said no to everybody. She's been pursued by every major talk show and every news program, and she's one of the hardest bookings there is. We rehearsed earlier this morning, and he was gone for most of the time right before the show because Tony was a guest on Regis and Kelly.
And Tony Danza.
Tony Danza will be here. He's starting his own talk show in about 27 minutes. The big welcome now to America's newest talk show host, Tony Danza.
Thank you.
How you feel?
I felt great until that introduction.
It's America's newest talk show host.
Oh, gosh.
Every single person in this room is going to be seen on television. How do you like that, huh? Is that cool? So let's practice right now. 1, 2, 3, make some noise. Let's go. Come on.
No, I couldn't sleep last night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Erica Petrini.
A lot of unsettling butterflies, excitement, the whole 9 yards, wondering if words are going to come out of your mouth at all.
8 minutes to air. Is Tony back?
This is like a real dream come true. It's really incredible. I just find myself like, wow, it's really happening.
Folks, we're down to about 5 minutes.
It's not nerves. I hate to call it performance anxiety, but it's a little bit like that. It's like you just want to go out and execute,
30 seconds.
What better way to start off the show than to have Tony on the back of a New York garbage truck to kind of salute his father.
15.
Stand by to come up on 5 with music and applause.
Here we go.
I hate to be corny, but it really is kind of like the American dream.
5.
My mother's an immigrant, my father's a garbage man, and I have a talk show. I'm Tony Danza, and I'm in New York City, live.
And applause, music.
All right. Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is. I was trying to tell myself, producers and staff put together a great show, so now don't mess it up. Well, here it is, September 13th, 2004, Monday, and welcome to our first show. You go out and you try to do the best you can, and you swing for the fence, but you can't worry about if you miss something. Because we're live, we're being broadcast right now in Times Square on the Jumbotron, right? Look at that, there right here. Oh. It just seemed like there was a lot of things that sort of converged. Please welcome Mr. Regis Philbin. Regis was his incredible self, his incredible energy, and there's something about having him come and start us off because he really has always been so good to me, and he's the real thing.
This is your first hour.
My first hour.
Good luck!
For a live show, you would think that something would go wrong, but everything just fell into place. We had Liza Minnelli, who's a person that you don't see on television very much.
I got a talk show and Liza's on it. Give me a break.
Pretty amazing beginning to the show.
My father used to say something, that hard work does pay off, and I think it did pay off. As first days go, I feel pretty good.
I thought it went fantastic. I couldn't have asked for anything to go differently. I think it really proved that Tony has the makings of an exceptional talk show host.
Come on over, everybody.
It's late afternoon, and I don't know if you've heard, but we've already got the ratings. We are #1 in our time slot.
Really great, guys. Thanks a lot. It's surreal. I don't know what to say. You don't even know how you feel. And I really could do this for a while, so I hope I'm touched by people that came and did the show. I'm touched by the fact that my family was here, and my little girls seemed proud of me. It's a good feeling. And as I said in the opening today, it's lovely work. I think once I'm wearing this thing for a while, and it's mine, then I'll be free. Then it won't be work at all. It'll be fun. But anyway, I thank you all. I really do. I appreciate it. And let's get back to work.
To learn more about Tony Danza and his family tree, visit genealogy.com.
Hey.
You know she's smart.
I'm looking for the smallest detail.
Is the killer that good? You know she's feisty.
Word around the water cooler is that you slept with this guy.
Was he any good?
But did you know she's now on Monday through Thursday nights?
Good to know.
Jill Hennessy, Crossing Jordan.